Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome. It is Friday, May 16th, 2025. Wow, we're already halfway through May already. It's like every time I come in here and say good morning to you guys, I realize how time is just flying by. All right, we got just a little under 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 45 seconds till we take our 9 o'clock trade. We are looking for a short at the moment. Let's see who's in here this morning. Joe, good morning. Richie, good morning to you. Koss, good morning. Mitch, good morning to you. And Trader Brahm, good morning. How are you guys doing so far? And to everybody else who's not commenting and who is joining us later, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you. Had the market do an interesting move in the upswing overnight. Shot up like 100 and some odd points and reached this high over here. Couldn't make yesterday's high. Could not reach yesterday's high, which is up here at 529. And basically come back down, and it's continuing to the downside. We'll see what happens once it gets around 430. It's going to be kind of like our testing area around the 430. I'm hoping that it breaks down below and continues to move lower, because that's what we need for our short to be successful. Let's kind of zoom in just a little bit. Good morning, Miguel. Okay, we got 2 minutes. And we are looking for a short, looking for this thing to go short. Like I said, got to keep an eye around the 430 area. Okay, just about a minute and a half to go. Let me run a test trade real quick.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right. Got just about a minute. And we will get into this short. Let's see, what is the 1 minute telling us? Got 30 seconds or so. Hope this thing does continue to push downward. We are trading inside of this range of this engulfing. If we close below, this should be good for us to continue to go short. Got about 19 seconds. I want this thing to close below 437. I guess this might pull back on us a little bit as soon as it opens. Hopefully it won't take us out. All right, 2 seconds, and we are in.
Order submitted.
Now let's hope this thing can just push straight down. Like that.
Target filled.
All right, that was beautiful. In and out, super quick. Can't beat that. Gotta love that. Finally, we got something that was in and out. Let's get a replay on that.
Let's hope this thing can just push straight down. Like that.
It's a good thing that this replay is in slow motion as it slows it down like half speed. So, all right, cool. Nice way to start the morning. Nice way to start off a Friday. I think we did the same thing last week, which was kind of nice. Done for the day, Richie? Oh, look at you, man. You are the man. Miguel. Nice. All right, cool. Let me just make sure that all my positions are closed. Give me 1 second, guys. Don't want to make sure I don't have anything stuck open. No, everything's good. All right, perfect. All right, so, all right, we move on to the next one. Let's basically recycle. Yep, Richie, that's good. Did you take this trade, this short, this add to your weekly total? Nice. Oh, with capitals, everything. Very nice. Good for you. Miguel, I know this is a really stupid question because I think I know the answer, but did you take that trade? Because I think you take all of them. Mitch, did you get yours? You passed 5 Apex? Nice. Congratulations, man. That's super awesome. So, Miguel, just out of curiosity, how were you doing prior to, starting to watch the streams and everything? Has that helped you at all? Or were you already on the way to getting them passed and you've passed before and gotten payouts? How's that? How's your journey been working out? Just kind of curious. Oh, it's Miguel, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad. Trust me, anything that if I can do, if anybody benefits from it just a little bit, that's why I do this, right? I mean, if I can get you to a point where you're like 10 times more successful than me, then that's awesome. You know, that's really awesome. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. Stay disciplined, you know? Um, I've been working on some other stuff, which is kind of cool and not really surprising. Um, I was testing something during the overnight, and see if I can pull this up and show it to you guys. And I've been back testing it, and yesterday was the first time I actually took it live last night. It is basically, I'll just show you the, let's see, how do I do this? How can I, because it's on a different monitor and it's not being shared here. Here, let's try this. All right. Can you guys see the screen? Give me a 1 if you can see it. Type 1 in the chat if you guys can see this and follow along with me here. Todd, good morning. Nice to see you. Okay, so I got 3 guys paying attention. Fantastic. All right, cool. So I got into this trade at 320 right here. This was my entry at 21,395, and I got out right here at 21,433. Trader Braun, good morning to you. I don't think, did I say good morning to you already? I think I did, yeah. So, and this is a long only strategy that I trade off of the London. And I've back tested it pretty good. I'll show you kind of like what the numbers look like. So for the last 30 days, this is what the numbers look like. It has taken 32 trades. It's trading at 43%. And you're thinking, 43%, man, this is terrible. But it's trading at a profit factor of 3.8. And the drawdown is only, what is that? 800, I can't really see that great. $834. So the drawdown is 834 to a profit of 7717. And here's what the equity curve looks like. And this is taking the London and only longs, and it averages about 1.5 trades per day if you average it out. So I've been working on some other stuff. The thing about it is to just kind of like have all these different trade setups. They're just like, one-offs, little tiny ones here and there, and then just kind of add them together later on and build this portfolio. And the next thing you know, you're like, you're adding to your trading arsenal. Trader Brahm, when take your 1 or 2 futures? What does that mean? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Can you rephrase that? While you're doing that, right, Todd? Right? So just kind of like, and then when you compile all these together, if you've got one trading strategy that doesn't seem to work all that great one day, then hopefully the other one will make up for it, right? I say that 1 or 2 contract on the profit site. Okay, Trader Brahm, I'm sorry. I know that you're one of the Dutch people, right? The European side. I know English is not your first. I'm trying to understand the question. So maybe try it again. So it says, you say 1 or 2 contracts on the profits. Oh. This is for trading 1 contract. If that's what you're asking, am I trading 1 or 2 contract for this strategy? 1 contract. I'm hoping that that's what your question is. Is that right? You're asking how many contracts for this trading strategy? If that's what you're asking me, how many contracts for this? Yeah. So trading one contract. So this strategy is 1 contract. Most of the stuff that I'm doing now is on 1 contract, and then you can scale it up to as many as you want. So if we were to trade 2 contracts, you just double this up, right? That means your profit would be, 15,000 and some change, and your drawdown would be around 16 or 1700. So something to kind of, consider and keep in mind. If we're looking at, 7718 divided by 834, and what I'm doing is I'm dividing the net profit that we have by our drawdown. That's 9 to 1. So that's the 9 to 1 risk reward, right? So for every dollar that we're risking, we're making $9, basically. And you can tell by the, average winning trade versus the average losing trade. The average winning trade is 748 for the winning trade, and the average losing trade is 153. So our winners are way bigger than our losers, right? And since we have such a high risk reward, we can afford to be at a lower percentage. I mean, we can actually trade this thing at 30% and still be profitable, right? That's the beauty about having high, risk reward trades. You don't have to have that many winners. You'll take a lot of losers, but they're small ones. They're small losers. And then when you get the big ones, the big winners, those usually are what, gets you into new equity highs. And I'll show you what I mean by that. You can see it here in the equity curve, right? Because if you look at it, we have like $170 loser, $250 loser, then we have a $750 winner, $1,400 winner, right? Another $750 winner, $750 winner, $1,500 winner, another, $1,500 winner. So you see all those winners, with these little losers. The max losers we have is like 3, like this one, 400. That's the biggest losing day we had was $400, right? But it, all these other winning days make up for that. Kind of see that? So you just have to be prepared and know that you are going to take losers, and you have to stick to it. So if you've got the discipline like Miguel, who takes every single trade in the trade plan, which is what you're supposed to do when you've back tested a plan and you know that it works, you cannot pick and choose the trades you're going to take, because if you take a losing trade and then you decide to basically stop for the next trade, that next trade may be that one that gives you new equity highs, right? So like, for example, right here, So this day we had a winner, okay, and then we took a loser right here. So you're thinking, oh man, well, let's say we had like a couple of losers prior, just as a hypothetical example. So you're thinking, oh, I just took this loser. I'm not going to take the next one. I'm going to wait. But you miss on the next trade, which is right here. So this right here, this new trade, see how it made a new equity high even though you lost? And again, the next trade lost as well. And the next trade won and you made new equity highs as well. Here you lost two trades. Okay, you lost two trades in a row. And the next winning trade, again, right here, from 50, okay, our equity high here was 6,297, and here we were at 6,288. So we lost two trades, and then the next trade brought us right back literally almost to where we were at our previous equity high, and then we took another loss, and then the day after that gave us new equity highs. So you have to understand that that's how this trade plan works. So if you know that, you just take the trades because you know it's there, even though you're getting into a little bit of drawdown. Okay, you know that you're going to lose a couple, so it's like, you know, one step forward, two steps back kind of a thing, but the one step forward is a giant leap versus the step back or two little tiny steps back, right? Does that make sense, guys? Type in a Y or a yes in the chat if that makes sense to you, what I'm trying to explain here. All right, excellent. Cool. So let me reset my screen back up so I can get ready for my my 9:30 trade. Okay. So my Ninja just decided to freeze up on me, which is not good. All right, it's back. And all right, let me put on a test trade real quick.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
It's got a little bit of lag on me here, which is not ideal for me.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay. All right, so for our 9:30 trade, remember we had some parameter changes. I'll go over that with you guys again. So the and remember, it is a short-only strategy as well, so we are only looking for shorts. And the profit target is 45, and the stop is 55. So the stop is 55 on this trade, and the profit target is 45 for the 9:35 trade. All right. Todd, yeah. So I just gave you the one for the 9:35 trade, and which you're looking for the profit and stop for which trade, because they all have every strategy's got a different ATM, if you would. So Todd, which one do you want to know? Which one are you asking about? And we've got just about 12 minutes till the market opens, give or take. So we do have some time for a little Q&A. So yeah, Todd, just, give me something specific. You're not sure yet? You look back at the vids? Okay. All right. Yeah, each one of them has a different ATM. Like the one I just gave you right now, the 45 and 55, that's for the trade that's coming up at 9:35. Okay, so let's kind of recap real quick about something that we talked about before our trade happened at 9 o'clock, which is right here, this bar right here. This is the bar that got us in and out of the trade. And remember what I said? I said we're looking for a test of around the 430, right? Because of this, we were kind of worried about this right here. So it got down to 423, like 7 points below. And I mean, rejected really super hard and bounced, which again, we thought it was going to do, right? We talked about that. So we actually got lucky with that trade, that it got us, in where it did, and that we got that spike through relatively quickly. Something must have, either some kind of a news tweet, something happened that kind of, spooked the market for a second just to get us down there. But you can see this zone area that's in gray, right? With the high being 428 and the low being, 421. That was an area that I was looking for it to, potentially bounce off of or be some sort of a support level, right? So we were looking for price to come back down and then bounce off of it. And it literally, I mean, this is like a perfect V-shape, recovery, if you would, on this thing, off of this move down. And this move down was from, 21,500, which, by the way, I mentioned yesterday I was expecting price to get there by the end of this week. We talked about early on in the week, we were talking about, predicting where the market's going to go this week, and we were projecting higher. And, 21,500 was the somewhere around the target price. You guys remember that? We talked about that during the week. Give me a Y or a yes if you remember talking about that. So you can see that, with us analyzing the market early on, we have an idea. Remember, we were bullish like the entire week. We said we're basically looking for, Todd, I did say that in the correct. So we've been talking about that all week, basically looking for, just long, upside stuff. The little short stuff that we're looking for is like really quick scalps, but ultimately, we're looking for the big stuff for the long, long positions. So now we're on our way back up, and we're looking to test the 21,500, and then we'll see what happens when the market opens, what it decides to do, because yesterday's high was here at 530. So yesterday we actually broke the 500, right? And so where are we going, right? So we can try to do a quick analysis on that and see what's our next target point. So let's look at the 15. So 500 is here. 530 is the yesterday's high. So obviously we're trying to shoot for 530. And if we break above that, then the biggest thing is going to be, our first hurdle is going to be 552. If we can break above that, then we'll cruise over to the hourly. And we may actually have to go to the daily. So the 600s, okay? You see it tried to pull back a little bit here. Corina, Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Welcome. Nice to see you. So since we basically right here see this point, let me get my little drawing tool right here. Okay. Back in February, all right, it basically was on its way down and it tried to kind of hold this level here by pulling back. So this is kind of like our next zone. So somewhere around the 600s. So this is kind of where we're looking to get to next. If we take that out, then we're just going to continue upward, and we can analyze that next week. Once the week opens on Monday, we'll reanalyze all of this, and then we'll start fresh and then see where we're at. Now, remember, we were talking about how the weekly's doing. So the last few weeks, we've been on an upswing and potentially moving higher. And we were talking about when we were analyzing the monthly, if we look at the monthly, so obviously we're going to close, hopefully, we'll close this month on a positive note. We'll get the remaining half a month that's left to the upside. But if we do that, then we're definitely looking for, all-time highs in the near future, very near future, like the 22,500. And if you look at it, going back to February, we had this engulfing bar, okay? So if you guys remember, we're talking about the price action formation of engulfing bars and what it does and where it's going to go. So if we draw our lines, right, remember we do this for our ranges. So if we're trading within this range right here, look at this little triangle that we're basically forming. So out of this month broke down, and then it couldn't keep it there because it started retracing back up. Okay, which means it's trying to get back into the range of this engulfing bar. And then this month right here, we did just that. We shot right up in there. Now we're halfway through. Depending on where we finish this month, right? If we finish somewhere up here, then we would be looking for June to continue this momentum push forward up. And then we're going to be trying to take these highs out here. So we're anticipating somewhere around 23,000. Okay. We used the exact same analysis yesterday or the day before when remember we were drawing the bubbles at the ends of the extremes of the prices. And we said if we stay above the mid-level of the engulfing bar, remember it was the news day. I think it was Wednesday we had CPI, or Tuesday, whenever that news day was, it was at 8:30. And we had that big giant engulfing bar, right? And then we said if we stay above it and we continue to show upward, we're going into this bubble that we drew up at the top. And it's doing the exact same thing, different time frame to give us an idea of where we're going. And, we're looking at 23,000. Okay? So keep an eye on this. And then we'll revisit that next week and the next weeks to come as to where we are and seeing if the market's going to give that to us and see if it goes there. All right? So take that out. Go back to our 5-minute. Okay, so now we have this engulfing bar right here on the 5-minute, right? And then this bar is shooting straight down, trying again. Now we're going to go, looks like this is going to try to retest this area down here, again, at 420. And we'll see what happens when the market opens, if it's going to do just that. Okay. So if we can close this little line right here, this green line right here, this zone, if we can close below and stay below during the open, then we would get our short setup, and then we're going to target somewhere around 32 to potentially 23. So we'll see kind of what happens once this market opens. And again, we got to be really careful if we get big giant down bar, that as soon as the 935 candle opens or the 930 candle closes, we might be looking for a little bit of a pullback depending on how big the bar is. Okay, wow, look at that. That was interesting. So as you can see, it could not close below the low of this engulfing, and it went to the upside. And just like that, we're at the 500 level. Right? Remember, we were looking for it to eventually come and test that and see what it can do there. So. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of lag on my NinjaTrader right now. Got to make sure it comes back to life. Otherwise, I won't be able to trade this thing. I'm lagging by like a minute or so. And we're about 45 seconds from the open. But I am getting a little bit of lag on my NinjaTrader, which is a problem, which means I will not be able to execute this trade. Yeah, I'm almost 2 minutes behind, so yeah. I've got a problem with my NinjaTrader, guys. I will not be able to execute this trade, because as soon as the market opens, it's going to get even worse. Okay, so the market is open. And it is pushing down. Yeah, and I'm like 2 minutes behind, so. Okay, well, I'll just watch TradingView. Yeah, I am lagging pretty bad. And there's 4 minutes left to this, so. All right, let's try this. Seeing if I can, do I have, all right, let's try to do this. We said that the take profit was 45 and the stop was 55, right? So we'll do that. I'll trade it this way, like manually, on this account right here. Okay. I'll trade it on TradingView manually. Let me just make sure I'm not copying anything anywhere.
Order submitted.
I'm not. Okay, and I definitely do not want to trade two
canceled.
contracts on this. Now, TradingView gets, gives a little bit of slippage when you trade right off of it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, we got 2 minutes left. And I'm going to shut down my NinjaTrader. 2 minutes left. All right. We got just a little under a minute 30. Okay, so I do expect this thing, here it is, right? This is the testing area. So I do expect this thing to pull back a little bit. This is going to be a short for sure, but I do expect this thing to pull back up to the upside. Let's see what the 1 minute looks like. See how it's kind of like fighting to stay up. So we got 30 seconds left. Really want to see this bar, push downward. We'll still take it. I'm not really, like I said, I'm kind of like torn and tossed, but we'll take it anyway. All right, we got 7 seconds. 2, 1. All right, and we're in short. And as soon as we got in, this thing pulled back. And it immediately stopped out. So remember I said I had a feeling that was going to happen just because of the way that it was pulling back. So, but I just wanted to take it so you guys can see. And I did take this in my account. So now I'm down $10 for the day on that account. I was up 270 or 250 or something like that. No, 270. And now I'm down on this account. So, all right. So, and this is my take profit account. It's an eval account that I'm trying to pass. You can see it's been getting hurt quite a bit, but we show the good and the bad and the ugly here, right? So don't only show the good stuff, okay? So that is going to do it for today and for this week, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. If you guys are going to continue trading, trade well. And if not, enjoy the rest of your Friday. And if you're done for the week, then have yourself a great weekend. And we will see you all back here on Monday. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.